have a question. What is your favorite song and how do you connect with it? Is it when you fell in love or through something really difficult? I'm your host, Tiffany Mason. Now join me as I interview others and we take a walk down memory lane with them. Let's get lost in why that music matters to them. Turn up your radio and let's explore Memories with a Beat. Hello, Podcast Land. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Memories with a Beat. And today I have Kelsey Breton on the podcast with me. Kelsey, welcome. Thank you for taking time out of your day to be with me.
Hi, Tiffany. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. So Kelsey is in a networking group with me. And if you've ever been a part of a networking group, you explain who you are. And then the people in your networking group are supposed to promote you in like a very, almost like a passive way. I mean, we're not being aggressive. I'm not saying like every single person should always have their picture only taken by Kelsey Breton because she's with photography. But one of the things was, hey guys, I have a podcast. Would you go listen to it? Leave me a review. And so she was kind enough to do that. And then for some reason, I was like, I'm going to go look at my reviews. And there was Kelsey's review. And it was like, I love music. And it's such a simple statement, but I was like, oh, me too. And I was like, wait, why have I never had her on the podcast? So I reached out and I was like, hey, what do you think about being on the podcast? She was like, absolutely. So I'm really excited to dig into a song of one of my fellow networking buddies and see. You can't have too many memories because it's 2022 was release year or something, it said. So we'll see what emotions or how you use this in your daily life. But first of all, I want to know a little bit about you and your life and what my audience may find interesting.
Well, I don't know how interesting my life is, but I am a wedding photographer in the St. Augustine, Florida area, which is a big area for a lot of elopements. People are traveling from out of town for weddings. It's just like a huge, gorgeous, beautiful, amazing downtown location with lots of history and fun stuff to do and see and take pictures by. So it's like the perfect place for a wedding photographer, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But I lived here with my husband. We bought our house in 2019, got married in 2018, and then got a puppy pretty much right after we moved into our house. She's now massive, and she's going to be 4 in February. She is like the center of our lives, basically.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. I take pictures. I hang out with my husband. I hang out with my dog.
And what is your puppy's name?
Zoe. And she
Zoe
is crazy.
Yes.
But we love her so much. She brings so much joy to our lives. Yeah.
Yes. It's very much like how people feel about their children. It's very crazy and obnoxious and messy, and you can't imagine your life any other way.
Yeah.
That's what makes it
my
joyful.
Kid.
Yeah.
Perfect. I can't wait to clean up after her every night.
My son came to visit us for a little bit and he brought his dog with him and we were cleaning up all of his toys, the dog's toys. And we were like, man, we haven't cleaned, because our dogs don't really play with toys. I mean, they hang out with us and we take them outside and they follow us around and stuff, but they don't play with so many toys. And we're like, man, we haven't cleaned up this many toys since you boys were little.
Like toddlers.
Yes.
Basically just having a toddler around all the time.
Absolutely. Okay, well, let's dive into your song a little bit. Tell us what the song is and then how you relate to it, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so the song that I chose for this podcast is One Republic's Sunshine. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is about this song, but it just gets me pumped. Sunshine in general, like if I need a mood boost, I go out in the sun. I listen to a little music and it kind of gets my day rolling. When it's cloudy and dreary out, I really struggle. So the name of the song in and of itself is like the perfect song for me. And then you add in the beat and the energy that comes along with it, and it just gives me good vibes. And like that's kind of part of the song lyric as well. You're searching for good vibes and sunshine.
I think you're right with saying energy. Yes. That's exactly right. Because this song like comes at you right from the first beat. I think the first beat and the first word are together.
Yes.
Like there's no introduction. It's just running through this strange life. It just right away. It just hits you right away.
Yes, it's like the perfect boost that I need, like before I go to the gym, or like for me, I hate going to the grocery store. I don't know what it is about grocery shopping. I dread going to the grocery store. So I'm like, okay, let me put on a song, boost my mood, get through my day. And it always puts me in a good mood. I know I can have like a little dance party and feel pretty good afterward.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Now, I know that you haven't been a photographer your entire life. So before that, you were doing some stuff with the education system. And really, when I was listening to the words and thinking about you in this song and how it just fit you so perfectly, found myself a new vocation, calibrated motivation. And I was thinking about how, you found a new vocation, which is photography. And lots of times when we switch careers, we are looking for a new boost of motivation. So, is there anything that you would say that this song kind of speaks to that a little bit? Have you ever thought about it with those words right there? What do you think?
I love that you bring that up, because a big part of how I was able to kind of do both jobs before I transitioned to full-time was to keep my motivation up as much as possible. I really, really struggled going into work. So it's so funny that you mentioned that, because music kind of got me to my job before I transitioned. And it was really the only reason I think that I was able to get through my day before I transitioned to full-time photography. So podcast listeners, of course, you guys don't know this, but I worked in the school system in St. Johns County for 4.5 years as a speech language pathologist. So my original career choice is not something that I do now. As of January this year, I was lucky enough to be able to say, oh, I can do full-time photography now. So I've kind of taken a step back. But if you have ever worked more than one job, more than 2 jobs, and you've had, the craziness of other life things too, you have to find any way you can to stay motivated.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. And I know I've found myself in the same situation. I often say on the podcast, like when I'm in a funk, I will sit there for a minute and try to figure out like, what should I do or what's wrong? And then I'm like, oh my gosh, let's go put some music on.
Yes. Music changes everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree.
And I personally choose upbeat songs to do that. But to each their own, right? If to you music means calm, serenity, then you might have a different song.
Yeah, I had a lady on that actually chose a song with no words. And she said that the hertz that it comes out at actually is focusing and calming to people.
Wow.
And so she puts that on when she wants to like focus on work or whatever. And I kind of tried it with her song, and I don't know if I had the same experience, but I did have a different group that I was listening to some of their music and I put it on in the background. I was actually communicating with the band, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was so motivated and I got so much done. I was so productive. And he was like, yeah, it's really good, like background music, but it's got a good beat and it kind of keeps you going. And he was like, yeah, that's great news. So I was kind of surprised that he was okay with me calling it background music, but
most people would be offended by that, but maybe that's his goal.
Yeah. No, it was just such easy listening and a good beat, and it just made you feel good. And so I guess that was, just enough to keep me focused and keep me going. But yeah, music, words or no words, definitely motivating and centering. And, sometimes I think you need to use music to, have a good cry or evoke emotion. And other times,
Oh,
yes.
absolutely.
And other times, like you're saying, to get ramped up and motivated and ready to go. And yeah, you're a photographer. What is your training, or how did you get into it?
Yeah, so I'll just give you a really quick, brief synopsis of my backstory so that we're not on here forever. But I actually became a photographer because I had such an awful experience at my own wedding that I kind of realized I can do this better than my photographer did. And it's so funny how hindsight is always 20/20, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was always that person in college and even high school. Before that, I was always obsessed with like picture books, and I would take pictures of everyone, even if it was just with my phone. And then it was kind of like this like switch flipped in my head, like, oh, wait a second. I can actually make money, do something I enjoy, and get really good at it over time and still be providing an experience for that couple who really deserves it for their wedding day, which is not what I had in my experience.
Yeah.
So it really gave me that motivation to kind of say, okay, I want to make sure every single person who works with me has the same experience, that they enjoy their wedding day, that they have fun doing it. Yeah, so that's kind of how it started, and it's just snowballed from there.
Yeah, and you have such a big heart. I can easily see, like, I mean, having it be my wedding day and having you walk in with your big smile and just like so inviting and so sweet and just being like, okay, let's celebrate you guys today. So that's amazing. I love that you have found your Ikigai. I don't know if you've ever heard that term before.
No, tell me more. I love this.
So it is a term that a lot of like entrepreneurs will use when they're inspiring others. So it's something that you like, something that the world needs, and something that can make you money. So you found
Love that.
your Ikigai, and it's a Japanese word.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm going to look it up and I'm going to make a sign and I'm going to put it all over my house. That's amazing.
Yes.
I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So another reason why when I was listening to this song that I thought of you was hit me with them good vibes, pictures on my phone like everything is so fine. So obviously we're friends and we follow each other's social media, and Kelsey has had some of the cutest reels of like when you and your friends have went out of town or you and your husband hanging out with some of your friends. So that doesn't surprise me, like the good vibes, the sunshine. I mean, just like everything in this song is Kelsey.
Is me.
Yes.
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 It's very possible they were like, there's some random girl in Florida who this will relate so well to. We should have named it Kelsey. What were we thinking?
And I could see you like at the gym, working out, or walking the dog, or in your car. I'm dancing just a little bit more, breathing in just a little bit more. Oh, my life is like woohoo. Just that line. I could see you doing one of your reels or whatever with your friends and being like, my life is like woohoo.
Yes.
In the little video.
It's so good. It's so good. It's almost just one of the, you hear this song and you think, oh my gosh, this guy was like just in such a good mood and had to find a way to really convey it to the world.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have that amazing like boost of energy when you first wake up. It doesn't happen that often, but
Yeah. Well, I do think that there's something to be said for like being thankful and grateful, and this song really helps you to like refocus. You know,
absolutely.
Like life is good. Look around. Life is good.
Absolutely. And I'm like, I live in the sunshine state, even better, which means that hopefully we get as much sun as possible.
Yeah.
And it just kind of puts you in a good mood. I am so driven by music and how it makes me feel. Mm-hmm. So just like you said, right? You know, you have moments where you're like, okay, I need something slow and low key to calm me down, to recenter me. I need something upbeat to get me going, motivated. Sometimes you need a little country to feel goofy. And you know what I mean? It's just one of the, like, music is just so incredibly amazing in the way that it can change your mood.
Yeah.
And drastically improve your day.
Yeah, I agree with that. I didn't really think about it till right now, but lots of times, like when I'm going to listen to a podcast, I'm like, okay, do I want to be entertained? Do I want to learn? You know, do I want to be inspired and motivated? Do I want to like be like, holy crap, that could happen? Like, you know, there's lots of different experiences you can have through podcasts, but it's really the same thing through music. Because lots of times when I get in the car, I'm like, okay, what am I feeling? And Hannah and I go for golf cart rides because we're in the Sunshine State and we have golf carts all over the place around here. And sometimes she'll put on like a really slow, like sad song, like that Olivia Rodriguez song, Driver's License.
Oh, I know which one you're talking. Yes. Oh, it's such a good song though.
Right. But not like when it's sunshine, you're on the golf cart,
yes.
You get your free spirit vibes on, and then like we're talking about the ex-boyfriend. You were supposed to come here with me while we were driving my license and
bringing down the mood.
I'm like, no, Hannah, this is not what I'm feeling. I'm not feeling this right now.
We need One Republic Sunshine right now.
That's right. Well, you guys know it's going on the playlist for Apple Music, YouTube, and Spotify, and I think it's going to have to go on my personal playlist for the golf cart.
I love it. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And then you can think of me every time you listen to it.
I will because it's so Kelsey-esque. I can't stand it.
I think you're not the first person to say that.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, this is just one of those songs that gets you in such a good mood, makes you feel good about your day, and helps you kind of remember how amazing life can be when you are grateful for the things that you have, right?
Yeah. Hey, Podcast Land. Wouldn't it be great if you could save time by being able to reply to text, email, and social media messaging all from one place instead of switching between apps? Or better yet, the system replies for you? I didn't know it existed until I started using Follow-Up Speed. I'm going to tell you a little bit more, but first, pen and paper. Go grab them. It's okay. I'll wait. Okay, now, text details to 904-560-5597. Don't worry, it'll be in the show notes. But don't you wish remembering to follow up was just a little bit easier? With Follow-Up Speed, you can set an automation and forget about it. The system does the rest of the work. Before you know it, leads will be in your inbox from the system doing your following up for you. You can also earmark contacts as they enter the system with tags, making it easier to find them later, like watched webinar, or attended Zoom call, or met at chamber. Follow-Up Speed can do all of that. I know it's hard to wrap your brain around, but it's this detailed system that acts like a CRM, project management, and your all-around hub for all communication, including but not limited to following up. Just text details to 904-560-5597 and see it in action for yourself. Now, back to the show. Now, do you think that your parents were the same way? Do you think that you learned that from your parents, or do you think that's just a skill you've learned on your own? Like, when I need to boost the mood, I'm going to throw some music on, or were your parents kind of like that too?
So both my parents really love music, but I don't know if they've ever used it as kind of a coping strategy to help them through their day. Not that I'm aware of. It's just something that I kind of picked up, I think, probably more in college. And then as life has gotten more stressful and things change and things pop up, I just kind of learned to use it as a tool to help me through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Easy, good, bad, all the things.
Yeah, I can appreciate that for sure. So one of my previous guests said, music does not like give you the emotion. Music evokes the emotion that is within us. Like it's sitting there like kind of dormant. And so when we need to access whatever those emotions are, lots of times music can help us to access those feelings. So yeah, I think that's what you're saying.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I actually heard on a podcast not long ago that, faking your mood until you become that mood, right? Like the easiest way to feel happy and get a boost of energy is to pretend like you're happy and you're energetic. Yeah. Because eventually your body will just respond to what's coming out. And I thought, man, that's so crazy to think about, but we really do have so much control over how we respond to things. Yeah, I think that's like tickling a little kid, or like the don't laugh game with like a little kid where you're like, don't laugh. It's like reverse psychology on yourself. A little bit. Don't do it. Don't be happy. Well, Kelsey, is there anything else that you would add to the song? Ooh, that's a really good question. I hadn't thought about it. If I could make it longer. Yes. Maybe. I would actually agree with that. It's a pretty short song and it's so fast paced. Yeah. If I could make it a little bit longer, maybe one more stanza and one more chorus, and I would be pretty happy. I agree though. It is a short song because like you're so in it and you're like, yeah. And then it's like done. You're like, no, replay. Exactly. I will literally put it on my Bluetooth, like on YouTube in my car, and turn up the volume as much as I can. And I'll just like play it back 3 or 4 times. Yes. I believe it. Because it's a good one. And it's one that you can listen to. There are some songs that they're great, but
a replay, I don't know. Let's go to the next one.
I agree. I also have such a bad habit of when I hear a new song that I really like, I do kind of outplay it. So hopefully I don't get tired of this one because I have a problem with that. But I just love this song so much. It just brings me so much joy, and it reminds me how awesome life is, and just puts me in the best mood ever.
Well, and I have to imagine, because I feel like we are the same person when it comes to this. And feel free to say, no, Tiffany, that's completely incorrect. But I feel like the more you get to know the words, the more of like, you're feeling like a badass, right? Like you can say all the words because he says those words fast. You know, I remember when I learned the Will Smith Miami song, you know, I thought I was really, really cool. So I have to imagine that it's the same thing. I can see you totally singing all the words to this song and just like so enveloped in the song. Yeah, and feeling like I just nailed it. I just said all the words.
I don't actually think I've made it all the way through the song with every single like line, but now that you mentioned it, I think I might need to practice so I can finally nail the full song.
I have a friend that does karaoke a lot, and for some reason it's making me think that I'll practice and then we'll go bang this out at some karaoke somewhere.
Yes. Okay, we need a karaoke night soon. Only upbeat music allowed.
Yes. Only sunshine. Oh my goodness. Well, too funny. And actually, ironically enough, as I'm interviewing her, she has a yellow shirt on. So
I do.
Yeah, it just makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yes. This whole thing just shouts Kelsey. Yes.
It's perfect.
Yes. Which is a huge compliment to you. I mean, you are just kind of like that ray of sunshine. I mean, when people see you and you know, pop up on the screen for any networking call, you know, you're just happy to be there. And, you know, you are like just, I don't know, a bright spot in the day. So I appreciate that about you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my goodness. That is the ultimate compliment. I will take it and run with it. So thank you for that.
Of course. Of course. Well, Kelsey, thank you so much for taking time out of your day and sharing this awesome new song with us. Again, guys, check it out. It's going to be on the playlists. You're going to want it if you are on your golf cart, your boat, your Jeep, your car, maybe on a snowy day. You guys pull this song out.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for having me. This was such a blast. And I love just being able to kind of share a little bit about me too. So
yeah, of course.
Fun. Thank you.
Of course. Podcast Land, I hope you enjoyed this song as well and enjoyed Kelsey's thoughts about this beat. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? You never know what rabbit holes we'll get to go down and explore. Were you reminded of anything? Or anyone? Share what it was with me in a review. Honestly, the reviews don't do me any favors other than knowing people like you are listening to this podcast. Insert cheesy wink. However, the ratings do help, so leave me 5 stars. You know you wanna. This podcast was produced by Virtual You, supporting you in all things podcasting. To connect or check me out on social media, I mean, I know you're just gonna stalk me. But see the show notes, as always, for details. Can't wait to dive into my next guest's memories with a beat. Hit subscribe now. You don't want to miss the next episode.